First of all, how do you pronounce a kamatz?
It's an O. Like O.
Okay, so I'm of the belief, and I think there's a lot of proof to this, that a lot of the vowel sounds, especially the ones in the middle, not simple patach. If it's not a patach and a chirik and a shiruk, which are when they graph out the sounds, and also when they talk with the Arabic grammarians and the Kuzari and the rest of them, they know that patach is ah, and shiruk is u, and chirik is e, and those are all the extreme forms of the different types of vowel sounds. And the people who speech therapy study how the mouth is built, they know that all the vowels fall into those categories. Ah down here, and u up here, and chirik up there. And everything else exists along these spectrum lines. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen the graph, right?
Yeah.
So the people who know this stuff, they found that there's actually, a few dozen different vowel sounds that humans can make, and they all fall along these lines between those vowels. So I am of the belief that, for example, segol and serei, and then the kamatz and the different forms going up to cholam, all lie along a spectrum, and the few of them are right. So the segol represents a sound that's not a patach and not a tzirei, and it sort of goes toward a chirik. It's along that line between patach and chirik, and between somewhere between a and e.
It's like the Yemenites.
So I think that there's
difference.
Yeah, there's proof that the rabbi says, like Rabbi Tzion Cohen took his from the Yemenites. It's an a sound, like a can.
Right.
But there's a lot of indications that it's not.
What do they think? What else could it be?
So it could be an S, simple S sound, like everybody in the universe says it. Simple S sounds, and that makes a lot of sense. Also, there's a lot of arguments that we've rehashed. It's not the time now to go through into those. So I think it's all legitimate. So too, my belief is kamatz represents a number of different sounds that all qualified as kamatz depending on where you were.
Like father.
Yeah, so that's one of the legitimate ones. It's everything from patach is obviously an ah. That's a simple ah, and then you have, let's say, just a simple ah, and the American as in gun and butt, and then you have more of an like sound. Cholam is already going close to the shiruk because it has that labial character to it.
Like you end with like the walls.
Yeah, but not completely. But it's obvious that there is labial factor to it. Even the Sephardic grammarians say that when you have a patach kenuva, you follow through with your cholam with a W sound. They say ko-wah. Why is there a wah there? What's the connection between that wah sound and the o? Well, like in English, they spell words like no in English with a silent W. Because snow.
You're saying when the wah was at the end, they added an extra sound after the wah?
No, I'm saying that the grammar books tell you that when you have a patach kenuva, words like koah and eloah, you're supposed to follow through with the W sound there. So I ask people who,
because it's like a chaser wah.
When people try to tell me that the vav should sound like a V, I ask them, when you say it's snowing outside, is it snowing or snowing? Listen to what you say in English. Is it snowing or is it snowing?
With the wah, hard wah.
You geminate the W, right? Is it snowing or snowing? I said no, and then someone says, well, it's snowing. I said, wait a minute. You say in Lashon Kodesh there's no possible W sound. You should say it's snowing.
Question.
So, but we're answering his question. So first you have to tell me where the kamatz is. Once you are comfortable with your kamatz, then add a W sound afterwards.
Where that leads me is the question that when my kamatz with the W sounds exactly like a cholam. The and the what?
So here's what I believe the difference is. Okay, if you have patach, if you have patach with W, you get ow. You get ow.
Yeah.
And a cholam is an O, but a kamatz is an like sound. As opposed to O. And a kamatz katan followed by a vav sound. If you would have a kamatz katan with a vav sound afterwards, it would be a cholam. That's what a kamatz katan is. It's a cholam that lost its vav because it's a closed unaccented syllable, so it shouldn't have the follow through W. It's like a chirik katan with a yud after it. Chirik katan with a yud after it, the is sound, as in lifnei and shemayim. If it had a yud after it, it'd be a chirik gadol.
see.
or a pure kibbutz.
So are the katan sounds like? Do you follow that as well?
I believe that it's not as perfect as, let's say, people follow the Radak of the Crusade is. It basically is that in certain words you should have a kibbutz, which is a slight sound, like look and good. As an American, you can understand that. Good food is wrong. It's good food. And you understand that if you would add a W sound to that good, it would become like the oo in food. Now, there's some cases where there's a kibbutz and a closed unaccent syllable, so it's a short sound. And then, sometimes because of whatever it is, you have there's a pu'al. There's a pu'al form of verbs. You know what the pu'al is? It's the flip side of the PL verbs.
Okay.
So you have shiber and shubar.
Right,
as opposed to shavar and nishbar.
Right.
Okay? Shubar. There's shubbar. It's a kibbutz.
Right.
So that it's always a kibbutz in those cases, except when the letter in the middle can't get a dagesh. So that's that's what it's called, the pu'al. The pu'al, the ayin doesn't get a dagesh. So that kibbutz becomes a full shuruk sound, even though the vav is not written there. So when you have there's a verb in the PL, whereas there's a vav in the middle, consonantal vav, siwa, commanded. So something that was commanded should be tzadi with a kibbutz, and then a vav with the dagesh, a dagesh vav, and then a kamas. So the fact that you have what is usually kibbutz in that conjugation, followed by a consonantal vav, which is geminated, becomes suwa, kasher suwethi. So that kibbutz got upgraded.
Right.
into a full shuruk sound.
Okay.
So I believe in that. That's what happens. It's just that it can happen to a chirik also in certain situations.
So the Masoretes, they made the nikudot not as like a perfect system that all these nikudot always mean the same thing, but as a guideline to understanding how to pronounce correctly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll give one more example of this. When you have a PL, past tense, it's not P-ale, like with an ayin, because there the chirik is shalem. If it's any other letter that could get a dagesh, like shiber, it's a short chirik. But when the middle letter can't get a dagesh, it's a full chirik. And when the middle letter is a yud, it also becomes a full chirik. Kiyin.
Because that's like the
you follow through. Yeah.
Vayarem al karanenu al kol sonenu.
So na'enu.
You would say sonenu.
So na'enu.
Right. Can you explain why, even though maybe this is obvious, but why you say sonenu, not sonenu?
No, so na'enu. There's a shava under the nun, right? Okay.
If there were not,
I don't know, but there's supposed to be a shava. It's shomerenu. You have.
but the reason you pronounce the aleph is because the shvana is there.
And the aleph has its own, nikud. It's not so nu, like tikrena or.
Right. In other words,
tirena
because
or
there's
tirena.
a tere under the aleph, so that means you have to pronounce the aleph.
Yeah, and the nun has its own shiva also. When how do you know it's a silent aleph in the middle of the word? When the aleph has no nikud whatsoever. So it's a difference between what tirena hamiyaladot, what tirena. So the aleph is silent. Tirena with a short chirik and a shiva under the reish, and the aleph is pronounced is the past tense of future tense of feminine will see. Tirena is they will fear. The feminines will fear. Different words. So there you go. I had a video about this, that the Yemenite way of just marking shiva noch in the middle of a word without a shiva whatsoever gets confusing with these aleph and hays, because they don't know if it's pronounced shiva no aleph or completely silent aleph. And in Masoretic system, you actually see a very clear difference. Yeah.
Brother, on the way here, I heard on the radio, what's his name? Avshalom Kur. I forgot. Avshalom Kur, I think. He said that the Teimanim, the Yemenites, have a tradition of calling it not lulav but lolav.
Okay.
Is that an incorrect custom?
I don't know about incorrect. Who said Zolulov?
Oh, so it's not clear to you that it's lulav? It could be lolav?
When you come to Eretz Yisrael and you start using Machon Mamres, Rabbi Bar-Hayim introduced me to Machon Mamre, certain resource. I knew about it before, but he was always using it, right? He was showing it on the computer. And I, as a rule, I would never look at their Nikuded version of the Rambam, because it just drives me nuts. Okay? Their Nikud doesn't fit usual, typical, rabbinic, Masoretic Nikud. Look at the Machon Mamre. And it's not even one Makbili uses. Makbili also, he's all into Yemenite way and all that, and he doesn't have this different Yemenite way of vowelizing the words. So it gets too much of my way. But I have to use it when I do a word search, because the Machon Mamre non-minukad, without the vowels, throws in all these extra vavs and yuds where they really shouldn't. It makes everything Malay, where it's like maddening. So if you're looking for words, you can't find them because they throw in too many yuds and vavs. So if you want to do a word search with true spelling, you have to use their minukad version. And then you have these words like lolav and I don't know, all these other ones.
So in other words, you don't have an opinion whether it's lolav or lulav. It could be lolav.
And I'm not entitled to opinion. It's a different tradition altogether. I can just tell you about Masoretic.
I thought maybe it was obvious that it would be one way, not the other.
Well, even if they say well, that's the way it's in the Torah. The Masoretic way fits in the Torah. Yeah, because we use Masoretic texts of the Torah. The Ammonites, they had their own way of vowelizing, and the Babylonians had their own way, and they did a different different system. The Gemara itself says
I thought the Ammonites used the course of a year.
No, the Babylonians used the Babylonians. The Ammonites used the Ammonite.
There was a Yemenite Nikud before.
Yeah. I have a book in the house that has an example of it with the Tamim. It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. So try to impose our system that we've inherited onto theirs is not.
But you never hear anybody besides the Ammonites saying lolav, right?
They also say no sach.
I never heard it.
Yeah, they say no sach. There's a few other ones, and changing the mil el and mil rav. There's certain things.
No sach has a certain authenticity to it.
Yeah, it has
It has a certain ring to it.
It's the correct mishkal. Because normally when you have a seglet down, you could replace the segol with cholam, like kodesh and chodesh. Noga, cholam, mil el, and then a patach, because of the guttural hey that's pronounced at the end. And other examples are roah. That's not an example. Sorry, it's a bad one. Romach, or spear. So no sah should fit that. I could hear that. That's why I said I'm not going to take an opinion on these things. Just tell you what we know. Masoretic tradition fits the way we have our Torah.